Florida woman charged with felony for vandalizing Tesla with large wad of chewing gum. From the Post-Millennial, a Florida woman has been charged with felony after vandalizing a Tesla with a large wad of chewing gum, causing nearly $3,000 in damage. Yamaris Marrero was charged with felony criminal mischief following the incident, which occurred in the parking lot of the Aventura Mall in Miami-Dade County, according to Local 10 News. The damage, amounting to $2,623.66, reportedly affected the car's door handle mechanism. The act was captured on the electric vehicle's built-in cameras. The owner of the Tesla told Local 10 News that he believed he was targeted due to, quote, unfortunately, a divide in our country where certain views that are not accepted by a subset, referencing Tesla founder Elon Musk's support for Trump and his role in Doge, which has been eliminating federal spending programs. A security guard spotted Marrero inside the mall's food court, leading officers to take her into custody. She admitted to her actions, though her admission was redacted in the publicly released statement. Initially, Aventura police listed the charge with a hate crime enhancement, but in bond court, with prejudice designation was removed, and the felony was downgraded from a second degree to a third degree offense. Marrero was booked into Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center on Friday with a $2,500 bond. The case is part of a broader trend of vandalism against Tesla vehicles and dealerships as critics of Musk and Doge take aim at the electric car company. On Saturday, protesters in New York gathered near a Tesla showroom, blocking a road while chanting, "Elon Musk has got to go." Demonstrators held signs depicting Teslas on fire, with some calling for the burning of the vehicles to save democracy. Now, of course, the story headline is that a woman vandalized a car with chewing gum, and the responses are hilarious. Adam Gaffney on X, 20,000 followers, Harvard Med, says felony charges for sticking gum on a car. Felony charges. A life potentially ruined. One thing should be clear. They will throw the book at people for actions, crimes, protests with improper political affiliation. Indeed, you are correct, sir, as that was the case when several individuals drove over rainbow flags painted on the street and got felony charges for that. Not to mention, painting many political messages that we saw through the BLM riots was in fact criminal already. Notably in New York, where they painted Black Lives Matter on Fifth Avenue in front of Donald Trump's building. This was false, or I should say fraudulent, appropriation of taxpayer funds for a political campaign message targeting Donald Trump. No one was held accountable. Now, for those that don't own Teslas, I can explain to you why this is very simply a felony. On Tesla vehicles, the door release mechanism, they're all mechanical. On, I believe, the models 3 and Y, I'm not sure, actually 3Y, and it may only be the S that has the pop-out handles. But what you have for the Model 3 at the very least is it looks kind of like there's a ball in a line, and you press your thumb into it, and then it pops up, and then you grab it and pull it. I think it's kind of dumb, to be completely honest, as a mechanism, but that's how it works. If you were to jam gum inside of this, you could very easily damage the electronic mechanism. Now, if this is a Model S vehicle, the Model S vehicles have a flat, straight rectangle. It's a rhombus or something. When the car is unlocked, by tapping the handle, it comes out. If you stick gum in that, you are going to cause very serious damage to the door. Might not even be able to open the door from the outside any longer. This is not sticking gum on a car. This is more akin to jamming gum into a keyhole to destroy the lock mechanism so people can't open the door. Big difference. But many people don't quite understand this. Notably, this guy who's shocked you'd get felony charges for sticking gum on a car. To be fair, some have pointed out, if you stick gum on a car on the side, you could damage the paint. And that's going to actually cost you potentially hundreds of dollars to fix. Depending on where you put the gum, just sticking gum on a car isn't something like they could just pop it right off and not even notice. In response to these tweets, Law of Self-Defense responds, if you maliciously cause thousands of dollars worth of damage to someone else's property, that's a felony charge. If you don't want a felony charge, don't be maliciously causing thousands of dollars worth of damage to someone else's property. Phil Labonte with the yes. One person said, just wait and see what happens next. This is North Coast Shooter. If they want to start overcharging people, then we will give them something to really charge us over. If gum gets you a felony, you may as well just go all out and really earn that felony. Wow. That's interesting. Armed Liberal says you should hear what happened to folks who put tire marks on rainbow crosswalks. And this is where we are, my friends. You know, look, in response to the New York Post, one person said chewing gum can damage car paint. She did nothing wrong. Imagine charging people for gum. What is this, Nazi Germany? None of it matters. I'm telling you guys, I know there are people who want it to. The reason why I say none of this matters is that we all know, you and I all know, a young guy was driving a pickup truck in Florida and he drove over a cross. It was an intersection and he peeled out. He burned out as he did, putting tire marks on the road. He was criminally charged. Not the only one. Now I ask you this. In any other circumstance, would driving on the road in such a way get you criminally charged? It would not. If you were driving down any road and you burned out a little bit and there was a cop there, he might pull you over and say, what are you doing? And then I don't know, I hit the thing wrong and I was freaking out. Whatever. They might not even pull you over. They might pull you over and say, hey, guy, don't burn out. What are you doing? The smoke's coming up. It stinks. For the most part. Improper driving, minor citation, criminal charges. Because they put a political message on the ground and they were shocked to find that people might drive on it. Now, the people who drove over a painting, the painting could be easily repainted, but to be fair, yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money. The difference here, in my opinion, is like, bro, you're painting things on the ground, cars drive over it. There's going to come a time where someone slams their brakes on without doing anything wrong and then actually skid their car and put these marks on the ground because these things happen. Felony charges. This woman intentionally tried to damage the mechanism, the electronic mechanism of a Tesla. These people don't realize, because they are not smart enough, that these cars all have cameras on them, and very many. At the protests over the weekend, there were people holding up signs saying, "Fire Musk," with a picture of a flaming Cybertruck. This is why you get felony charges. Now, I got to add, my friends, it is kind of funny, ironic or whatever, that Democrats vandalizing electric cars are getting felonies and they won't be able to vote. So there's that. But this is pure hypocrisy. There's a video that's going viral of Hassan Piker talking to Elon Musk's son, where he says, and I think the quote is something like, he's supposed to be the guy of renewable energy and electric vehicles, but instead, he's and yet, and that's it. I know what. The point of that message is, if you're a partisan who hates Donald Trump, you're just going to say, yep, I get it. If you're somebody who's asking the question about why are climate change activists attacking the largest and most successful electric vehicle maker in the country, no answer. But you know what? I don't like the violence, I don't like the vandalism. But at the very least, the message being sent is clear. They never cared about these issues. They don't care about overcharging. They never cared when individuals got overcharged in the past. They justify it. Last Friday, we had a debate. Liberal lawyer, conservative lawyer. The liberal lawyer said that the government was justified in the arrest of Trump's lawyers because they were part of a criminal conspiracy, because the legal advice they gave Trump was actually criminal advice. Okay. Anytime a lawyer gives someone advice, criminal advice. From now on, that's the game they want to play. So that's why I say, my friends, it doesn't matter. What matters right now is that there are two distinct moral worldviews, both seeking to use power as they are able to, meaning will their side respect the use of the power? When it comes to the Republicans and the right, they don't tolerate the use of power too much. On the left, they demand the use of power at every turn, even if you are destroying someone's private property. Yeah. They'll arrest lawyers. They will try to arrest Trump. And the right won't. This morning we found out that Marine Le Pen was being criminally charged and was charged and convicted and can't run for president. And I saw a lot of comments. They said, how is it that it's so easy to charge people on the right, yet the J6 committee Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Hunter, Adam Schiff, none of these people are ever charged. Donald Trump didn't do anything wrong. They charged him anyway. Marine Le Pen, Bolsonaro, doesn't matter. They're going to charge them anyway. Because there are people who are trying to steal power by any means necessary. And there are those who are saying, slow down there, slow down there. It's an unfortunate weakness. It is. We want a rule of law, you and I. They don't. And so when we say don't do this, they say do this. When they arrest people for felony charges, they say, well, he sullied a painting. When someone then goes and destroys someone's door mechanism with gum, they say, no, how could you charge them? Why? The only thing they care about is the willingness to use force against their moral enemies. In which case, so long as they are willing to and we are not, they are going to win. I'm not suggesting we go out and attack people's cars or anything like this. I'm saying commensurate force under the law must be utilized. Trump needs to actually just criminally charge and arrest the people organizing, rallying, and making this stuff happen. I'll leave it there, my friends. Stay tuned. Smash the like button. Share the show with everyone. You know, we got more segments coming up. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast, and we'll see you all then.